Go live.
All right.
I think if we've done this right, our audio's working. We're live. It's 6 o'clock. So let's rock and roll. Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin. I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is your weekly crypto update. If you're new to crypto, ask a question. Welcome. You're in the beginning. Crypto is just getting started. And of course, if you're a crypto vet, there's a lot going on. It's such an exciting time in crypto. We'll do a market recap.
Yeah.
We'll do a quick market recap and we refresh the page to make sure nothing else has happened in the last 5 seconds. You know how quick crypto is.
You never know.
Oh, and so, let's talk about the liquidation.
Yeah.
So,
right.
If you're looking at Bitcoin and you noticed a few days ago it was over 60,000, and today it's trading around 56,000, and you're wondering what happened.
What's going on?
We have a little bit of information on that. Actually, let me pull up that article.
Okay. Yeah. This is a good article. So more or less, what's going on? The leveraged longs, this is another a way of saying the amount of borrowing people are doing to take out bullish leveraged bullish positions in the derivatives futures market. It was excessive. It was massive compared to what was in the past. So it was we were poised for a pullback, and it happened. So what happened was that there was massive amounts of sell orders hit Kraken and Binance, and that triggered a bunch of stop losses because anytime you're leveraged, you're trading on margin. If your position goes against you and your trade is a loser, the exchange will liquidate your position and they basically cash you out is what happens, right? And it's not a human decision. This is all automatic. So what happened was that you had all these longs, all these bets that Bitcoin was going up, and a lot of borrowing to finance it. And so you could easily see that it was poised to be like a long squeeze. This is the opposite of a short squeeze. It's a long squeeze, a bull squeeze. And the idea is that you could calculate essentially how much money in Bitcoin you'd have to sell in order to trigger these different stop loss levels, and then that's what happened. So there was the whale. The theory is the whales, or the insiders, or the people with the large bags. They're doing kind of what we think. The rumor is they're doing what's going on in the Wall Street markets with Robinhood, where they pay for order flow.
We were talking about that earlier. So we know that in traditional finance and traditional markets, there are people who pay for the order books, pay for order flow, as Ryan just said. So if it's done in traditional finance and in cryptocurrency, obviously
it's becoming traditional.
It is, well, I mean, obviously there's less oversight. I mean, there's in crypto. So if you have this being a common practice in traditional finance, what's stopping it from crypto? And the answer is nothing. So would Coinbase be selling their order books or Binance or Kraken? Of course they are. Sure they are. Who knows?
We don't know. We don't have evidence.
I have no idea. It doesn't. But it's like if someone has a car, are they driving it? I'm going to say I'm pretty sure that's how they got to San Francisco in a week. But whatever. But that also explains another one of the I guess the top crypto channel. If you're new to crypto, you check out BitBoy because he's the workhorse and just check it out. You better subscribe and check out BitBoy.
So to wrap all this up, where's it at? Here we go. There were over $10 billion in leveraged long positions liquidated. And if you see, that's historic. This chart doesn't go back that far, but I believe this is historic. And from the chart I saw, it showed that the 3 billion was kind of like the high water mark. So we tripled that.
Well, of course, there's more market capitalization in Bitcoin for it to even be possible. Yes. So of course, it makes sense that it's going to be the largest.
Now, here's some good news.
It is good news, though.
Well, this is good news.
It's not. It actually is bullish news. So it's when you understand what now that's a huge incentive. That's obviously if people can see these leveraged long positions and they can take advantage of it. Then they'll do that. But at the end of the day, what do you see? You see it immediately get bought back up.
Right.
And that's the what do you take away from this? Pardon me. Is that as soon as those leveraged positions are liquidated,
now you've got an opportunity to buy some cheap Bitcoin,
cheap alts, cheap cryptocurrency.
So, but the flip side of this is that there is not a record, but there's a large, is it record? I think it could be a record outflow. But anyway, there's a massive amount of Bitcoin outflow leaving exchanges, 143,000 Bitcoins, which is a lot of money. You do the math, that's a significant amount of money. That's leaving exchanges and going into cold storage and going into various custody services, and that's bullish as well because there's a correlation in history between outflows from exchanges and then the price going up, and it makes sense that would be the case. There's less money available to be sold, or less Bitcoin available on the exchange to be sold, so you'll have
a smaller supply
on offer. Ought to be bullish, right? All things equal.
So that's more bullish news, and
China story.
Welcome, doorman alike. Welcome to our Dirty Dozen or Dirty Six, our regular crew. It's always fun to be able to hang out with our crypto peeps. It's still a small niche in the world, but it's growing fast, and it's really beautiful to see how mainstream it's become. How many people are starting to have their interest peak. So what's up, doorman alike? Hey, I love your comment. Stop losses. What's a stop losses?
That's those, yeah. Yeah.
So but on to the next bit of news. So there are people out there pumping information every 5 minutes and every day, and we're gonna keep up every week because there's that's
a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and I think that you can cover a lot in an hour in a week.
For sure. Yeah.
Let's.
Now this is big.
This is huge, because if you remember 2017, what were we always hearing in 2017?
China's gonna ban Bitcoin.
China banned Bitcoin again.
And what happened to the price of Bitcoin?
Bam!
Slammed it down.
Altcoins, bam!
And what do we now find out? China is.
They were doing the old J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon.
Right. The FUD.
We can make it like a WWE of characters of like China and Jamie Dimon, J.P. Morgan, India, and the SEC, and the IMF, and make like a WWE character of all these people.
Bitcoin is dead.
Yeah. Bitcoin is dead. So
China's endorsing.
China's now
as an investment class.
They're saying, hey, you know what? We've got our mining farms set up.
We got our own digital currency that we've worked on and tweaked.
So,
yeah.
Well, they know. Everyone knows on the world stage that pretty soon we'll be seizing Bitcoin and issuing our central bank digital currencies. So let's right now just endorse it and stock up, stack the sats. Now's the time to stack sats. But
that's definitely bullish.
That's huge. That's bullish news. More people that are accepting. That's always a beautiful thing. IMF comes out and says, you know what? We're going to retire. We're all for Bitcoin. Wouldn't that be great?
Right.
Everyone from the IMF and the Fed is like, you know what? We looked into it. We're humans. We're men. We're men and women just like you guys. And we looked into the tech, and it actually, as men and women, there's no way we could compete with this. So we're going to pick up farming.
Yeah, it replaces our contribution.
We've realized, we've put our economic minds together and realized there's actually not a necessity to drain the resources from the population for us to exist anymore when this technology does it better.
Right.
I think that's how it works.
So we're going to start farming and maybe opening up a soap.
So y'all be ready to offer them some work on the old permaculture farms,
Right.
Maybe Jamie Dimon.
Recap is really going to be complete without talking about Dogecoin.
Oh, right. Okay. So I didn't really do the proper
40 cents
recap. What's going on in the markets?
41 cents.
Dogecoin is what's going on in the markets. And I'm going to say it, and I will say it I will continue to say it all the way until Dogecoin is the only accepted currency in the world, because now everyone has accepted that it's popular and fun and all governments have mandated to use it. I don't know the appeal, but yeah, it's when the rest of the market was correcting, Doge was pumping. And if you bought Doge, congratulations. If you're new to crypto and you got in, it seems to me like the BitConnect appeal of 2017. Not in that there's a trading bot, because I recognize that Dogecoin is a proof of work, algorithm, and it's set to a.
It's not quite that bad.
It's not that bad, but I just mean the
shitcoin.
The appeal to those who are brand new to crypto.
It's the hot commodity right now.
You find people who don't know anything about crypto in general, but they're like, oh,
Dogecoin.
Yeah. And it's interesting that it's great when you get into something that you profit and that's your first experience, because a lot of us, our first experience was going through bear markets, and if you get in and you 500x on Doge, that's great. However, it's something to think about. Long-term fundamentals. You look at the tokenomics and fundamentals. It's a
loser.
It's still a hyper-inflationary.
What's the supply function? Isn't it like a daily increase of? I mean, you look it up. Is it almost an infinity?
The idea was that it's so inflationary. The idea is like a hot potato. It's not to hold on to it. It's to tip and spend it.
Right.
And to make it real cheap.
So it's like a transaction.
Right. So this would be, I would say, technically like the greater fool's theory.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
On the valuation. Like let's
unpack that, because not everybody knows what that means. And that's a cool term.
Okay.
So greater fool's theory, if you're not familiar with that, that's an investment thesis. No one really has it in their mind as a thesis. It's more like that's like an unstated premise.
Basically value going up without utility. It's basically saying that there's no utility behind whatever is causing a price increase, and that it's just mere.
It's when you buy something because you expect it to go up, not because it does anything that's that innovative or that creative, or it serves any kind of need or utility, but because it is going to be popular and other people are going to buy it. So, and you want to get ahead of those other people, right? And so it's the greater fool's theory, because do you anticipate there's going to be a greater fool after you that you can then sell it to, right?
Right. And it's called not you don't actually go into thinking
there's
going to be a greater fool. It's just called the greater fool's theory, because it's pertaining to what's causing the desire. What's
it's really
the value.
It's really a hindsight's 2020 kind of thing,
right?
Because nobody really knows going into an investment whether or not it's going to pay off. It's all speculative, right? But whenever you see somebody else making an investment that you wouldn't make, it's almost like a conceit, an intellectual conceit. Well, they're a fool, and they're just waiting for someone else to be more foolish than them. So it's easy to be in your ego, and to feel that about someone else's investments. But you're right. No one ever goes into an investment on their own thinking that they're foolish, and that they're just betting there's somebody else more foolish than them, right? So it's more like, oh, that guy over there, look how stupid he is, kind of a theory, right?
Pretty much.
But I still think it has merit.
And by the way, Dogecoin is still doing well, and I expect it to still do well. I expect Dogecoin to continue to pump, and there is utility behind Dogecoin, because you hear Cuban Dallas Mavericks accepting it for tickets. Is it listed on Coinbase? I'm sure. The reality is that as a gateway into crypto, it exists, and it's very fungible. It's very liquid at the moment. There's more
demand for it.
It's more liquid than other cryptos, which to me is kind of the red flag. I wonder, when you have other cryptocurrencies that are very well designed and well built, why would some people choose to accept a crypto that isn't built on
those same fundamentals,
those egalitarian, ethical, decentralized,
right?
The same fundamentals, right? Why would you just? But it's so early in crypto right now. who knows? I mean, speaking of, we actually have something up on Dogecoin. So
it's a good segue.
So a good segue because Dogecoin having outperformed everything in the market, everything. Dogecoin has been the top performer in the market in the last few days.
Yeah.
And there's been a response to Dogecoin in the Ethereum smart contract community.
The DeFi world.
The DeFi world called Shiba token. Do you know anything about that, brother?
I know about as much as I've read on this website earlier today, but I do know that it's a I want to say it's an NFT play, right? But it's like it's a meme coin with isn't there images? Isn't there an image associated with it? I do know about the tokenomics are sound, right? That part I do know. There's going to be token burns sent to Vitalik Buterin. It's got deflationary tokenomics, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you got Boom Boom, you got Sheeb, the Sheeb, I guess it's the Sheeb token, Leash, and Bone. Sheeb is an experiment in decentralized, spontaneous community building. Sheeb token is our first token, and it allows users to hold billions or even trillions of them. Nicknamed the Dogecoin Killer, ERC20 only token can remain well under a penny and still outpace Dogecoin. Interesting claim, interesting. Working with liquidity locked to Uniswap.
That's right. Locked liquidity. That's the other part I read.
What do we know about liquidity locked to Uniswap? See?
Gold standard.
Gold standard.
When it comes to crypto.
As you know, one of the pioneers, shucks, I didn't even realize that. We might as well give a little shout out because there's so much going on with Wise Token right now.
Check out Wise, see what they're doing.
And I mean, it's like we could do a whole stream on just Wise Token, really, and have it planned out. Because, why do you say that? Let's go back over to the market cap real quick. Okay, obviously Ethereum is the largest smart contract protocol. Boom. Number 2 by coin market cap. They're working on Polkadot before the year's over with. Well, that's kind of bullish. But scroll down and you'll find out that they're already built on... Oh, wait. Is it... So, wait. Where's the... Harmony One?
Oh, it's Harmony One.
Harmony One. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Harmony One, one of the other leading smart contract platforms. And I think it's... Let me scroll on down. It's in the top 100. For sure. For sure. There it is. 85. Bada bing, bada boom. So Harmony One's one of the solid smart contract protocols out there. It's had a lot of support in the last year. It's had a lot of solid growth. And they already are functioning. Very scalable transaction processing. They're just rocking and rolling. And they have ViperDex, a Uniswap of Harmony One.
Nice.
Wise tokens on that.
Yes.
You also have... I was going to find out where is Matic. I'll look it up later.
Matic.
Oh, there. Polygon Matic. Bada bing, bada boom. 69. Gotta love that. Cancers out there. So,
and then the Binance Smart Chain.
Check it out.
Pair.
The Binance Smart Chain. Oh, gosh. Did I... Binance at the very top.
That's the big one.
Hello. And if we go back to the very top, and you'll see 2 and 3. That's what I was thinking of. Mm-hmm. Okay, look. 2 and 3. Ethereum, Binance. You have Harmony One and Matic. Wise token now available on exchanges and on the chains on all of those and still growing on those ecosystems. But where was I going to go? This is a quick little... Yeah, I was going to go to the charts because we talked about the gold standard of what's the whole point of cryptocurrency? Lost liquidity, right? The whole point is to remove...
Decentralization, trustless,
removing the human error, no third parties. And it's like when you have... I mean, there's some great projects out there. A lot of great crypto projects out there. And they admittedly have long roadmaps. They have a large they're holding a large amounts of the crypto in order to spend for marketing, to spend for growth, for team development. The reality is that what makes Bitcoin so beautiful is that it is a complete protocol. So it's still functioning, it's growing. There's no third party with Bitcoin.
Right.
And when you find other protocols that meet that same standard of there is no third party, it's already done, it's complete, it's functioning, it's doing its thing. Well, none other than Wise token. Just the token itself, over 123 million. But when you go to
the pair
locked liquidity, the pair with Ethereum, it's number 6. The first year, it's only a few months old. Still a sleeper, just building out. So this is huge. And there's actually a lot of other things going on in our worlds. Young father over here and doing some work over here myself with family and stuff. So we've been busy. But
so have the crypto markets.
Haven't been able to keep abreast. Wise has been moving so fast. That's why it's good to follow Wise Guys Masterminds and Wise Staking and the other channels out there, because literally there's arbitrage opportunities right now. There are people who are generating free liquidity, free tokens by providing liquidity on these different chains. So check out ViperSwap and QuickSwap and Wise on that if you're into providing liquidity and learning and dancing around. But that's beautiful to see locked liquidity. What that means is that there's no contract updates impossible.
Right.
It's the private keys have been burned.
Right.
They've been sent to Vitalik Buterin. No, not really. I'm just kidding. Not really. But they have been burned.
They have been burned, yes.
So it's beautiful to see other projects that are recognizing the value of that model by saying, hey, the liquidity's locked to Uniswap, so your investment, money, assets, energy, whatever non-legal term, because none of this is financial advice. We're just talking knowledge and spiritual wisdom here. We're just talking man to man, man to woman, woman to woman. Well, if there's two women in the room,
we'll fill in the
blank. You know what I mean.
Hey, you know what? We could reverse gears real fast and talk about the other direction and go back to that Bloomberg article.
Bloomberg. Oh, did we skip this?
We skipped this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this isn't going to be anything that is going to help you make a lot of money in the crypto markets, but it's good to know.
More little crypto economic info.
Yeah, a little econ info. So the chief economist at Bloomberg has basically says that he feels like the forces of deflation are going to overpower or outstrengthen or whatever, overwhelm, however you want to word it, the inflationary forces. And basically the idea here is that how crazy is it that 16 years ago oil was roughly the same price it is today, despite unprecedented levels of monetary and fiscal stimulus. And that indicates entrenched deflationary forces. So what do we mean by that? What's the deflationary forces? Well, one of them is production. As technology advances, we can produce more with less, right? More units of goods are produced and with less labor, less less materials, and we're making all kinds of advances all the time. And then there's also like AI and automation is streamlining a lot of things. Blockchain, crypto is helping to solve some of these problems with like supply chain questions and other things. So
and
these are all deflationary forces.
Half of the world's population no longer leaving their homes and getting in their cars and driving to their jobs.
That's big. Yeah. Well, actually, that's deflationary because it could cut both ways.
It could be deflationary because
it's deflationary because there's less spending, less income. They're not making money. They're not spending money. But it could be slightly inflationary too because of the fact that they're not producing. So the supply.
But there's a drop in the demand.
There's drop demand. There's also drop supply. So it's like that old deal where it's how it shakes out.
We have to see which one.
Yeah, which one is going to be greater.
Yeah.
It's indeterminate, as they say, right? But this is just an idea that this is just an analysis that suggests that we're in a long run deflationary trend, and just because you see massive amounts of money creation, don't think that hyperinflation is therefore right around the corner. Because remember, we got caught in that mindset. I don't know I'm not going to speak for you, but I know I got caught up in that mindset a little bit, not fully. I didn't.
Well, the idea is that markets are more complex. So what you think is that you may read in the newspaper that a central bank prints $1 trillion that the government borrow, some ridiculous amount, and you may the prices are going to go up, but that's not how money works.
That's just the first round.
Money gets bottlenecked, and sometimes it's held by banks and intermediaries, and they don't lend it out, and you still find difficult for people to get loans. It's not like that with all this money printing.
It doesn't just circulate. It
doesn't just circulate automatically. So
and there's other things happening too with deflation.
Right. So thank you, Dominic Dantes.
Then the link this has to crypto would just be
Dante?
would be to say that if you're betting that crypto takes off or Bitcoin takes off as a hedge against inflation, this might put a little bit of a damper on your thesis. But as we were talking about earlier, the argument for crypto and the value and the utility in crypto and Bitcoin is not purely a function of a devalued dollar. That's one element of it. Sure, it's a hedge against inflation, but crypto and blockchain is innovative without a real inflationary scenario.
Well, what we mean by that is let's go back to this real quick. Oops, one of these charts. No, I guess it was this one. Overview. So, cryptocurrency, here we've got $7.73 billion in locked liquidity on this one exchange, which allows people all over the world to exchange between stable coins, dollars, Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ERC20 tokens, pages and pages and pages of so many tokens built on the Ethereum network. So that's just one example, but you go into the other chains other than Ethereum and the other exchanges, and there are other. What do these different tokens and protocols do? Because many of these tokens
do various things.
They do various things. They serve
there's
utility.
DeFi bond contracts. There's decentralized internet projects. There's it's just
there's a super paid ultra launch pad.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Well, super and
this is by Elliot Wainman. I believe if it's Elliot from Elio Trades, then this would be the man who is behind Super Farm. So he is the founder behind Super Farm, and this is his article talking about it, and it's been wildly successful from launch. And he's very popular in the he's a crypto ambassador, educator, and has been around for a long time. So if he's behind a project and has partnerships with people in cryptocurrency, that can be
it's worth looking at.
That's worth looking at. So
Super is partnering up with Paid, their Ignition crowdfunding platform, and they're having what's called a co-IDO. An IDO is an initial decentralized exchange offering, initial DEX offering. So what they're essentially doing is collaborating to make it possible for you to buy into these DEX projects prior to them launching. And it's a way to build a community of support for that project and to get investors early on. So that's what that is. And the first project that launches on this new on their new platform is called Globe DX, and that is a DEX that allows you to trade crypto derivatives, futures contracts, things like that. So that's not so much our bag because we're nervous about getting burned in a margin contract.
We just know how rational markets are in the short run and how they're stacked. So it's like if you look at the fundamentals and you're in for the education, building value behind protocols that are here to bring value and utility to the world, then that's one. If you're in it to day trade and to figure out how to take a little bit and margin lend it and make more, then there's a beautiful ecosystem for you, and good luck. Yeah.
Right.
I would say that
high risk.
I forget there are some protocols out there. I've already read about this that using smart contracts and crypto that are able to, in the future of these automatic exchanges, these AMMs will be designed so that you cannot do front running. They're going to do it with private order books, where the order books won't be to where everyone can see on a public ledger.
They're not selling the order flow at all.
Right, and you can actually have people can enter in their orders and keep it off chain, but still up to on the exchange. So I feel that while right now there are people capitalizing on this arbitrage, on this ability to front run and these other, that these are good. It's healthy to find this, because this is where you see people finding a hole in the ship. They find where to patch it. They find the solution. This is where we're going to streamline exchanges in the future so that it recognizes the value of having it private. Yeah, for people, to enter on exchanges.
And I can't remember the name of the exchange, but now that you mentioned that, there's a Wall Street traditional exchange for stocks, bonds, and derivatives and all that has that is set up the way you're saying, we cannot be front run. And the name of it left me, but I can put it in the comments later on if anybody wants to see it. But yeah, that's the future. Exchanges that are not selling the order flow and not offering up their customers as a product, right? Because if you're not, what's the old saying? If the service is free,
then
you could be the product. You might be this.
Just might be.
You might just be the product. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. And if anybody knows of any new crypto exchanges that are coming out that aren't able to be front run and don't sell order flow, put that in the comments too.
Put it in the comments.
Because we're all about learning from each other.
And I wish I remember, because I could have written it down somewhere, but I know there's something out there in the crypto world that's working on this and doing this. So, but yeah. What's on next? Oh. So we also have, and this came from our boy last week, Jacob, who couldn't be on here this week to catch up on some stuff. We actually had a couple visitors, so there was so much to cover. But one of the things that an article Jacob sent us last week, and I don't think this is the one, it might have been a different one, but it was about labs.
Yes.
And it's about labs being tokenized smart contract real estate on the blockchain.
Yep, tokenized real estate.
So you want to rock and roll anything on that?
Fractional.
You can drive if you want.
Okay, yeah. So if you look at the website, it's an ERC20 protocol. It allows people to trade, access, buy, sell, fractionalized property.
By the way, straight up, we should tell people, if you're brand new to crypto.
Yeah. KuCoin. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, KuCoin. That's by the way, that's just an awesome exchange. If you want to get if you want an account on an exchange and you want to have minimal,
we might even add a referral link down at the bottom if you want to come up with one.
If you're privacy oriented and you want to have minimal info to trade, if you want to give as little as you need to, that's the one to go with. KuCoin, really good spreads. The bid-ask spread's really narrow. The fees are low. I mean,
they're considered to be like the cousin or sister of Binance. So they've got pretty good amount of liquidity. It's been around for many years.
Yep.
Many years serving crypto for a long time.
They have a DeFi tab. There's a NFT tab. So they have a good selection of alts as well. So it's worth looking at. But anyway, this is a platform for people to be buying and selling tokenized real estate. So there's a white paper you can look at if you want to read more.
Go to the website.
We can go to their website. Yeah, let's check that out. See if we can get any more details.
Yeah, if you're brand new to crypto and you're like, how do I get all these different things? It's like, go get a KuCoin account for starters. Like anyone can get it. Anyone around the world. They don't ask what political jurisdiction are you a member of. They're literally just they're cryptocurrency exchange purely. So check them out, and it's a fun way to get involved and see different stuff out there. And I think there might be some other crypto exchanges, but as far as no AML KYC, open to just men and women all over the world without barriers to entry, I think that may be
probably one of the
largest and one of the best. Yeah. So now, of course, everything that's on there, you can always download an actual wallet on your phone or your computer for whatever crypto that you're interested in, and take it off the exchange and hold it privately, personally on your own wallet, which we always recommend that you don't hold your crypto on an exchange, that you use the exchange and you hold your crypto on your own wallet, whether it's on your computer, on your phone, however you do it, hardware wallet. What's this? What do we got here?
This is the labs.
Oh,
this is labs.
You should go scroll down to see DuckDAO Labs. I saw
a partner.
I think I saw as a partner, but investor. Yeah, they've been basically almost everything they get behind it's been
good.
Been very well. Rio. I wonder if it's Hayao. Is it Rio or Hayao? If they're Brazilian, then it's
Engine.
If they're Brazilian, it's Hayao. MontraDAO, Engine, DuckDAO. There it is.
They have some nice partners.
If they're Brazilian, then it's not Rio de Janeiro. It's Hayao de Janeiro. Hayao.
Okay.
Hayao. You don't say Rio. You don't say Rio. You say Hayao.
Good to know. That's important to know.
Yeah.
If you're ever in that area.
Yeah, Portuguese is a little bit different than Spanish. To my beautiful Brazilian, muito legal peeps out there.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. Purisisimo beleza. Beleza.
So yeah, this looks interesting. I don't have any real estate experience myself, but if you wanted to take a position at a fraction, you don't have a lot of money to buy a whole piece of property. This would be a way to get a fractional position on and speculate on some real estate.
And crypto, it's also, if let's say you're saying, okay, I'd like to diversify what I'm in cryptocurrency. There's some projects doing, decentralized exchange tokens. There's some smart contracts for real estate. There's some smart contracts for lending, and borrowing. Like there's literally, well, I don't know. I can count, but there are many different platforms offering different utility, different functions, different services. So
right.
if if you don't want to put all your crypto eggs in one basket, it's
diversify.
That's
the name of the game.
Diversify within crypto. Say, hey, you know what? This is the first one operating in, or seems to be one of the first operating in blockchain solutions for real estate.
Right.
Is it going to be a success? Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Hard to say. I mean, that's the haircut right there.
Of a real estate professional.
That's the haircut and the tan. Look at the groomed eyebrows. I'm saying look at that shirt unbuttoned. I'm saying, like, if I had to gauge by this picture, I would say I'm all in.
I'm all in.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
But there's more than just this picture, and we always tell people don't gauge on just this picture. So because of that,
do your due diligence.
I'm not all in. Do your due diligence, but I mean that's.
But you're sold already.
I don't know. As soon as we get off this stream, I'm going right back. Yep.
So let's continue. Collateral. We wanted to talk about collateral, right? You had that up.
Oh yeah. I've had this up. I've been looking at it for a while, and unfortunately, I haven't had the time to dip my toes.
To do a deep.
I don't know if I have any. My toes are all frostbitten from the last.
Oh, that's the partnerships is what I was impressed by.
Yes,
we've heard Visa is getting in with Ethereum with the USDC settlements, right? And PayPal and their Bitcoin partnership, I guess you would say. What's the word? Yeah, whatever. But with Discover and MasterCard and American Express.
What?
I didn't know about that. That's new.
That's huge.
That's huge.
And by the way, if you're a fan, if you're like, we're going to go back. If you're new to crypto, or if you're just kind of, look, powered by Polkadot. Let's go over to the coin market cap. When you start looking at the coin market cap, some protocols are built on Ethereum. Some protocols are built on Binance. And of course, this one's built on
Polkadot.
Polkadot, and Cardano's starting to have some things. Pardon me.
Cardano's the other.
So the more you'll learn so quickly. If you're new to crypto, don't be daunted. This is the beginning, and it's really easy to catch up. I don't know if it's a steep learning curve, if it's a gradual, whatever you want to call it. But once you get over the hump,
mm-hmm.
You'll start digesting it.
Plateau.
And
then it becomes a little easier.
Right. Exactly. So.
It's like that first day of fasting.
Yeah, it's like that first. It's like that first
2 days of fasting.
The first. It's like the first 40 days of fasting.
Right. Okay.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
That old story.
After those first 40 days,
it's all
downhill from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but Polkadot, it's Gavin Woods, one of the founders of Ethereum, and also one of the founders of Ethereum behind Cardano. So these are projects that over the next several years, if you're looking at this with mature eyes, this is not trading advice. We're not financial advisors. We're just talking about it from an educational, just economic market, fundamental perspective. Yeah. You're looking at, and I heard another developer talk about this. He was looking at where would things be at 6 years from now, and he's saying 6 years from now, Ethereum will probably still be at the top unless it doesn't.
One of these other projects takes off, yeah.
But we're still looking at transactions per second. How much of the world is actually using crypto for what?
Right. It's a tiny amount.
Tiny amount, right? So
there's so much room for all of these projects.
Room for growth, and you're going to find China accepts Bitcoin, so and so accepts it. And if you use our crypto, we'll give you a discount. They might start with that. They might even just be like, use our crypto, and we'll give you, the this much bonus.
For sure.
You know,
that kind of thing will happen.
Purchasing power. So, okay.
So let's go back to collateral. It's on the Polkadot network.
So it's on the Polkadot network. It's a payment gate. What's one of the biggest problems for crypto? You get into crypto and you're like, oh, I support these projects. And you see the value. You're like, you got your energy out of central bank, fiat, digital, printed money, which is just going boom, 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 boom. Political script, corporate script, and you said, I'm going to go into this decentralized technology blockchain that's spread out worldwide, and it's not owned or controlled by anyone. It's just like borderless. A language, it's borderless, and so boom, you jump into this protocol, and then boom, you're like, whoa, what the heck? How come all of a sudden I jumped in here with what they value at like $1,000 in fiat? Now it's worth $10,000. That's the kind of stuff that happens to people. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you,
but it can over time happen.
But over time, it's not surprising. It's in the matter of, and I'm telling you, if you're just coming out of traditional finance, I'm being conservative by saying in the matter of 3 years, in the matter of 3 to 4 years, seeing something go up 5 to 10, especially if you're getting out of Bitcoin. If you're seeing something go up 5 to 10x in the next 3 years, I feel is conservative. I think that, like our old friend said, don't confuse a bull market for brains. I feel like almost anyone can pick a diversified, relatively diversified portfolio and come away
with those kinds
of returns. Yeah. You don't need to go scope out the best, crypto market fund, analysts. Like literally just look at some of the top projects, spread out among them, and see what happens for a few years. And I would venture to say you'll outperform Apple or Tesla or.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's my.
I would agree with that.
I would remember, who was the old economist that did that bet on what something would be worth?
Okay, yeah, it was Warren Buffett. Oh no, you're talking about the Julian Simon, Paul Ehrlich bet. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, was that his name? Yeah, Paul Ehrlich. Yeah. Do you want to go into that, or should I?
Go into it.
Okay, yeah. So Paul Ehrlich was this eco-environmentalist, and he made some predictions, I believe in the 70s, late 70s or early 80s, that said that in the next 10 years that all the commodities, that there'd be like shortages of wheat and food, be starvation, and that there'd be massive inflation in the price of commodities. And he factored this on the supply of the commodities on one side, and then looking at birth rates, population growth, and all that on the other, and thought, population is growing fast, but the supply of commodities is what it is. So there's not going to be enough stuff to go around to feed everybody, and it's going to lead to these crazy high prices because we're going to have to ration things, right? And Julian Simon so Paul was not an economist, mind you. He was an environmentalist, he was a biologist, he was a scientist of some sort, but not an economist, right? Now, Julian Simon was an economist, and he said, okay, well, I'll take the other side of that bet. I'll bet you that not only are you wrong that there's not this mass starvation, but that commodities will actually be cheaper today in 10 years than they are today. It's the opposite. They're not going to be more expensive; they're going to be less.
Right.
And so they made this historic bet, and it was public bet, and it was very much a celebrated thing. And 10 years later, guess what? Julian Simon was right, and he wasn't just kind of right.
He was
really right, like
wildly
right. Yeah. And the takeaway is don't bet against.
Same Malthusian. It's very similar to the Malthusian fallacy.
Don't take the Malthusian theory seriously. Yeah, population growth is not a bad thing. Humans are good. Are a good thing.
Your families are good. Your friends are good.
More people, good thing.
Yeah, we're not bad. It's not. There's no such thing as overpopulation.
Yeah, right. But
that's hate speech. Have you ever even been in an airplane or on a boat and seen how much is out there that people
barren,
just so barren, and people don't.
So how do we tie this back to crypto?
Are we going to
bet? Yeah, or we don't have to, but we could.
Yeah, we can.
The bet. Well, we don't have to. It's not important.
Oh, I forgot what I was.
It's an interesting discussion, regardless.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I was saying I was just saying that is my bet. The Economist put the bet.
Yes. Right.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. This is the equivalent.
That's the equivalent. The equivalent is that by me saying to traditional finance, like a monkey can pick a portfolio,
Right.
Go look at the top 100. Pick the most popular. Pick what Coinbase is listing right now.
Right.
And I bet you in 4 or 5 years, your portfolio is probably double.
I wonder if,
outperforms Tesla and Apple or whoever.
Or how about gold? We can get Peter Schiff on the line.
Oh, get Peter Schiff, I don't even know why he calls himself anything related to having a passion for Austrian economics. Because we started there years ago. We went down that road and loved going down, learned a lot down that road. But it seems like there's nothing about what comes from him that seems
consistent with that.
Consistent with being intellectually honest about.
Complexity and all these other things. Yeah.
Maybe
he'll take the bet. Somebody tag Peter.
Well, we'll have him on our next live stream if he wants to explain to us where he ties in Austrian economic philosophy or the economics at all behind why gold is superior to cryptocurrency or Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Right.
To say that there's no value, to say that you can't. There's no value.
Did he use the term intrinsic value? Did he ever use that term?
I guess
because if he did,
it's like, well, dude, come on. I mean, you're not. That's the whole premise.
He just gave away the whole story on that. Yeah.
Yeah. What does have?
So why is that a big deal? Okay, so in economics, they don't consider value to be intrinsic. It's not something that's inherent inside a good. Like a car doesn't have value embedded in it, or neither does a hammer or a tuna sandwich or anything. It's all about our ability to appraise these things
and our perception,
and perceive them to be valuable at meeting a need or not, and their value is then tied to meeting that need, and then how much value we put on having that need met. Right? So that's where value comes from. It's our needs. These things are then appraised in the light of their ability to meet our needs, and then they get ranked according to that. So, which is just something we all will naturally do.
Yeah. Ooh, I would rather have a roof over my head than have.
So the conclusion is that value is subjective. It's in your mind, not in the thing itself, right?
And that's for all men and women. So at any given point in time, we're all walking around the world with a whole bunch of subjective valuations that we literally have to now engage with each other and interact.
And market prices are an expression of all those subjective valuations kind of averaged together. So anyway, if you ever hear anybody say, well, Bitcoin's not valuable or crypto's not valuable because it has no intrinsic value.
It's like, dude, nothing has intrinsic value, brother.
Guess what? Your standard for why something should be valuable just invalidated everything in the world.
You need to take that's economics 101. That's the diamond water paradox.
Right.
Like, let's go back to Adam Smith diamond water paradox. Like, why is it water has little value in the city and diamonds have extreme value, and then you go out to the desert
and it flips.
How do you explain that? Oh, well, it's because the utility and the value that someone perceives. Okay.
It's a paradox. The reason why it's considered a paradox.
It was a paradox.
Well, it was, not now.
It's not a paradox.
It was at the time because the theory of value in that time was based in intrinsic. Was an intrinsic story. So,
like what most people say today.
Like people say today, yeah. So the idea was, okay, the value that something has. There was multiple
labor hours.
There was labor hours was one.
Capital.
The other one was how much costs of resources went into making that thing. So if say you made something that took $1,000 in resources, and then the value would be just the added up costs of those inputs. And that's how much that thing's worth. That was the cost theory. And so there was various theories, but they all had in common with that they were all based in they were all wrong, but they were all based in intrinsic value. So value is an objective thing that you can essentially measure or like you can know. You could tally it up, you calculate it. And then there was this giant revolution in how so that old paradigm could not explain the diamond water paradox, because if value was objective and based in the cost of production or the labor
or any of these things,
then when you went from the city to the desert and the value of the diamonds and the water in the city should be this constant, because the cost of production was constant. None of that changes when you go from one place to the other. It still costs $1,000 to make it, right? But yet you go to the desert and all of a sudden water becomes this priceless commodity, and you couldn't give diamonds away, because who gives a shit about a diamond when you're in the desert? So there was this giant paradox that these old theories of value just could not explain because they were based in objective variables, right? So the great leap forward in economics was when they discovered subjective value, and they squared this circle essentially and solved the paradox and explained it as being a story of marginal utility. So in the city, water has very little marginal utility because it's very abundant, and there's not a glass of water you can get a glass of water for free. So it's not a big deal. There's a lot of it to go around, right? Whereas in the desert, very little water, and a lot of need. The people who are in the desert need it greatly.
It seems common sense, but it's not. You still hear people today making the same errors of judgment and claiming something doesn't have. Well, there's no value in this, or there's no value in that, and it's
like, well, you're right, because value is not in anything.
But at the same time, you're wrong.
You're wrong
in that.
And looking for value in something,
and that's it's important to that's what's important to understand blockchain technology. You don't see Wi-Fi, but is there value in it? People pay for Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
they don't see it, but they use it every time they turn on their phone or their computer.
Yeah,
and they never say, "Well, I can't hold Wi-Fi." Peter Schiff never says when the AT&T bill comes in the mail.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean you're charging me for this Wi-Fi? I can't hold it in my hand. I can't store it in my safety deposit box with my gold. I don't believe this Wi-Fi.
It's abstraction.
You want my gold for your Wi-Fi? You ain't gonna get my gold for your Wi-Fi, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Peter Schiff's just gonna be sitting on a pile of gold with like nothing to go.
No connection.
No services. You want my gold?
Yeah.
For that cheese, whatever.
So yeah, no such thing as intrinsic value. That's the long story short on that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to let's go do a little market recap. Let's see what's going on. You want to see what's going on with the?
Let's do it. Let's go to nomics. Go ahead, drive it up. Drive it up.
See what's going on with the crypto markets, because we squeezed all the interest we can out of the value theory. I think.
Yeah. We might have milked it a little bit, but no, it's important, because people still.
Oh, it's very important.
You're going to hear it. It's still coming up all the time. It's still coming up all the time.
And we're going to talk about it.
And it's important to understand what is the value of Bitcoin. Make it real fast. Let's just go real quick. Think about how many men and women right now go to work at a bank or go to work at an intermediary, or how many dollars are wasted in counterfeit, all the counterfeit money, and how much resources spent to prevent counterfeit. If you look,
or how about the money for settling transactions?
Money for selling transactions,
checks,
intermediaries,
credit cards, and all that.
If you take all these industries, and you calculate how much money that we spend for the labor and the electricity and the
accountants
and the accountants and the lawyers and all of that, like literally, let's get Janet Yellen to use her economics mind.
There's a whole team of statisticians.
Let's get some actuaries in on this, right? Because really, we could look at how much of the economy. That's the value of DeFi and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. It's taking all of that labor and resources and capital, and it's an efficiency gain. It's the Robinson Crusoe efficiency. You don't have to go catch a fish with your hand. You can make a net and you can throw it out.
There's another argument too, other than the efficiency gain, because you're right, that's huge. But there's also an ethics gain. People talk about value in terms of material things, like, oh, you made, you've solved some problem, so we're able to save resources now, and that makes us wealthier, right? And there's a value in that, and I agree that's a true story. But there's also a value in having a society be more ethical, or having more ethical outcomes.
Whoa! Are you saying that we should look at putting our energy or money into things that are ethical and moral? And treat people with dignity and respect,
right? And that's
not. Wait, what if they don't? What about somebody else can make me money?
Right. Well, yeah, there's that too.
Okay.
I'm just saying that there's a profit. There's a profit layer that's beyond efficiency.
I'm listening to the profit layer.
That could be tied to ethics and not having your energy go to fund drone strikes at Doctors Without Borders hospitals, or new prisons, or
totally
the police state, or whatever, war, fill in the blank, all the things that happen that are political that you fund that you maybe don't approve of, right? That you wouldn't want to fund if you had the choice. Well, this system,
even schools.
yeah, you could just
I
throw,
mean,
throw the whole. There's a lot.
Mutual aid groups. So you talked about that. I mean,
Yep.
blockchain can be used. It's not to not fund. It's to be more efficient so that you can fund exactly what you want.
Right, right.
Not to be forced to fund.
It's not just a negative story about taking resources from the state.
No.
There's also a positive story about giving resources to build the system that you would want to live in.
Right. It's not taking away. It's saying, quit trying to take from me. Easy, easy.
You got enough.
They're like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. You're like, easy, easy, easy. We're gonna put it over here.
You're gonna get your money.
You'll be okay. But they're like, but how am I gonna get it? I said, just go home.
Right.
Take a nap. Do this.
Sign up for my mutual aid group.
Use my referral link.
It will be okay. But yeah, there's a value in an ethical realignment of how our money and energy and time and labor is allocated, whether it's allocated on terms we approve of or not, and whether it's something decided higher up or ourselves, right? It's all about giving people agency.
Absolutely. Voice and exit, agency.
Yep. So yeah, don't think purely about dollars and cents, which is, even though that's important, but there's also a human layer here.
And that's always one of our main focuses is looking at continuing to see how blockchain technology can be used to make the world a better place, or in economics terms, to be more efficient. If we want to see the best use case,
more positive sum games,
not
so many negative sum games.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Harmonious solutions. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
So let's see what else. We did the market recap. We covered a lot. If you saw the major correction, this is actually not a lot in the world of cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin obviously is really bullish news that as soon as it hit 52,000, it shot back up and it's around 55 to 6. Could it go down again? Could there be more of these? Sure, there can, and Shan and Wan, who knows Wan. But at the end of the day, if you look for opportunities to come in, that's generally speaking one of them.
Yeah.
Whenever you see it go bloom, because look, if you saw value in at when Bitcoin was worth 62,000,
yeah,
do you still see value in it when it's worth 55 or 56?
Nothing's changed.
Exactly. So that's why you hear often people say these are great opportunities, these are great entry points, because when you see these blips, these 10%, 11% corrections,
buy it up,
jump in.
I don't have the article at hand, but I did see that I think it was a CoinDesk article, so you can probably go there and find it, but it was about how institutions are buying the dip on this latest correction. There's a lot of quick institutional buying support.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which isn't surprising, right?
Nope.
Especially if you think that the institutions might have a hand in
the order books,
and the shorts already. So I mean, it would make sense to short it and then have an open contract at that lower level.
This is what pops up first.
Doge
eclipses Ripple.
I saw that earlier. Yeah. And that's kind of like two people you don't like getting in a fight. You don't really care who wins. But I wish them best. Both well.
I wish no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
But they settle it. Oh, man. Okay, wait. Here you go.
There you go. Right. That's what I was talking about right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Buy the dip.
Buy the dip. The latest Bitcoin crash shows buy the dip mentality among big investors. The NY Dig says. Do you dig? Because the NY Dig does. The New York Dig digs. Our desk has been a net. Dominic Dantes is all.
Man, he is adding value today.
Dante. It might be Dante. Dominic Dante. He has been an inferno with pumping out this material.
Yeah.
Our desk has been a net purchaser over the past 24 to 48 hours. Greg Cipo Laro, global head of research at NYDIG, a Bitcoin-focused investment manager, wrote Monday in an email to subscribers. Okay, well,
net purchaser. Well,
there you go.
That means you should probably think about being a net purchaser too, because what's the old rule? Follow the institutional money. That's a good strategy.
Yeah. Well, this is that time.
This would be the time.
This would be the time.
They're buying.
If you have any last minute questions, feel free to jump in. We're rolling into our last couple minutes. We've covered a lot. I feel good about it. One thing we didn't do is it's just there's so much. We got to jumping out the gems. Wise as bullish as feathers. AF as feathers. I would say yes. I mean, congratulations if you're in the Wise community, and to Peter and the team and all. I mean, the hard work. I mean, really, I can't pull up how much is going on because I don't have a roadmap in front of me right now. But QuickSwap
coming out on Changely.
Oh, Changely, that was the news.
Yeah,
it's going to be on Changely with a fiat gateway. Are you joking me?
Nice.
So, as far as a blue chip solid.
Wise has got some
private perspective. This is just not financial advice, but it's the leading locked liquidity smart contract protocol of its kind. So, and it's
with so many different partnerships,
and layers being built for added utility. What I'm excited about, speaking of collateral, is that they're going to be doing collateralized lending by the end of the year, where you literally can take your value in the relevant Wise ecosystem tokens and you
get
a loan in crypto. So, hello.
Sort of kind of a similar to Maker DAO, right? Isn't that what
pretty much like Aave or some of those others do, right? Where you lock up some crypto.
And if you're into tax planning, that's a good strategy, isn't it? Because you don't owe money. I don't believe on
that's not my forte. But what I've heard, what I've read, is that you pay taxes on profits and income, but you don't pay taxes on debt.
Right.
So there are protocols out there where you can take your assets and you can get a loan on them and use that to pay things off as you need, and then
no taxes.
Pay that off of your collateral.
Right. But then you've given up your crypto.
Well, you're going to spend your crypto anyway.
But you're going to do that anyway to live. Right. This is just a way to do it without
deferring it.
Deferring that. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Not a bad gig right there.
Not a bad NY dig. All right.
That's a wrap, right?
I think that's a wrap. We're a little over the hour. Torment.
Drop any
don't forget to hit the like button if you'd like to. We've got 6 now watching. We've got 6 watching and 6 likes. That's 100%.
I'm happy.
Thank you, guys. What a blessing. And it's a blessing to be out here with our crypto peeps. I know we've got a lot of crypto vets. Where's Jacob? He's working.
Yeah.
Jacob's working. He was going to jump on maybe next week because he shared a lot of great stuff and he's got more to share.
He's an awesome resource.
He's huge. I think he's working with Doorman. Y'all are going to have some up pretty soon, so we'll collaborate.
Thanks, Doorman, for participating.
But thanks for jumping on, brother.
Being a part of it.
Yeah, this is the beginning, So it's exciting to be able to hang out and talk crypto with the few people that actually speak the language. It's like if you're a musician and you talk to another musician that can speak music language. It's like, oh, you know the difference between proof of work, proof of stake, and proof of stake on a smart contract platform versus staking.
You're right.
It's like, oh, okay, okay, cool. So it's nice. And more people will learn. Is like in the beginning, no one knew how to email. Do you remember that video of Katie Couric making fun of an email or internet or something? I
remember a quote by Paul Krugman that said that the internet and computers. This was like in the mid '90s. He said that the internet and computers would be no more revolutionary or innovative than the fax machine.
Right. Wow, how that was wrong.
Yeah, got that one wrong.
Yep. So, economists aren't always known for
making money or making good calls.
Good calls.
That's true.
And that's our background is economics. So remember that when listening to...
Don't listen to... If you want to know what to buy, just ask us what we're selling.
Exactly.
Because
Yep.
that's what happened.
Yep.
We leave it, it pumps.
We when we sell something, be sure that afterwards it will pump.
Yep.
That's how that works. And when we buy something, be sure it's about to go down.
It's gonna dip. Yeah.
Because I'm master at buying the tops. However,
having patience.
Take peanut butter hands,
iron hands,
and
diamond hands,
turning it into diamonds.
Yeah, that's right.
That's one thing that we've learned is that you know what, you can buy all the tops you want as long as you hold on to them
and you're patient
and you're good to go. So with that,
that's a good way to close.
Happy Moon Day. Namaste. Thank you guys so much, guys and gals, for your time. If you're watching this later, I hope you learned a little bit about what's happening in the crypto markets. It's looking good. It's looking bullish. These things happen. Countries will say they're banning it. Countries will say they support it. And they'll do it again and again. Mm-hmm. A little carousel of news. But at the end of the day, we're seeing more adoption. We're seeing more institution, more
value added.
And more signs, more variables pointing to bullish times ahead. So with that being said,
we'll catch you next Monday.
Catch you next Monday.
Arrivederci. Thank you.
I like that. That was a good one. Cool.
Well.